Welcome, everyone, to the Believe in Bengal podcast. My man, Adam Pac-Man Jones, is away. Not going to be on this episode today, but in his stead, that's right, I have former Cincinnati Bengal legend, Icky Woods, joining us on the show. The Ickster's in the house. What's up, Ick? How you doing, man?
Well, oh, man, Si, just chilling. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, I know you were down at Paul Brown Stadium yesterday because you're a vendor down there. You're doing business while the Bengals was whipping up on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I know you had to feel some kind of way about it. When it was going down, what came to mind?
Well, what came to mind is that's the way we used to beat up on the Steelers when I played.
That's right.
Because, everybody talk about how the Steelers was beating up on us, and I always tell them, shit, when I was here, they didn't beat up on us like that.
That's
so
right.
That kind of remind me of how we used to, because I know in the 4 years I was with the Bengals, I think we beat them at least six of those 8 times. So I told the guys, I said, I don't know what it's like to lose like that to the Steelers. And this team here reminds me of when we was busting the Steelers in the mouth, man. They showed up yesterday from the first kick to the end of the game, man. They just played on all cylinders, man. It was just a total domination.
It really was. And before we get into that, I have to let everybody know that today's show is presented by Bet Online. They're back and better than ever. A new web interface for the rest of the NBA season and for all your prop bets, the odds, and all the lines. You can do that on Bet Online, and it remains the #1 spot for all basketball, football, NHL, boxing, UFC, and more. Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite sports. Okay, all you have to do, Bet Online. It is where the game starts. And yeah, I want to bring this up because I remember you came to the Bengals during my second season. I was a rookie in '87. And then in '88, you came and we just ran through everybody. And we beat them twice that year in '88, went to the Super Bowl. You were doing your Icky Shuffle thing. And then in '89, we beat them twice again. And then in '90, we beat them twice again. We beat them 6 times in a row from '88 through the '90 season. Now, I left in '91. You were still here. Right. And I think that's when things maybe started to turn a little bit. But all you remember your early days here, I know that because I was here with you because we were running through everybody. In fact, we owned the division. That's when Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers was in the division. Cleveland Browns was in the division. And of course, we had our way with everybody. But when you watched the game yesterday, and I was talking to you about,
hey, sorry, Baltimore wasn't even a team then.
No. They were the Cleveland Browns. Ozzie Newsome was playing for the Cleveland Browns. Bill Belichick had just come over to coach the Cleveland Browns.
Right, no doubt.
So we were whooping Baltimore. They just called a different name. They were called the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And we were housing them with Marty Schottenheimer and Bud Carson and then Bill Belichick came. We got about 3 coaches fired in Cleveland. Because when you keep losing to a team, they fire the coach. That's what happens. When you keep losing, they fire the coach. That's how that happens. So, but I want to get your thoughts. What was it about our teams then that allowed us to have that kind of domination? Because people don't remember that, but because it was a while ago. But we were the bullies of the division. We became the bullies of the division. Right. And I could kind of see this young team in Cincinnati now growing into that. What did you see about our team then? We were very young. And in '88, man, we took the league by storm. What did you see about our team then that you might recognize in the team now?
That was key, Solly, as we were young. And they're a young team. And, and most of the guys on that team come from winning programs where, in college they won a little bit. So they bring in that winning mentality into what's going on now, and it's starting to show up because all the guys are playing together. They're most like we were. They're a close-knit team, and they play well together, man. They talk through stuff, and they try to do things together a lot like we did when we were coming up. You know, we hung out together, we did a lot of things together, and they're starting to show a lot of team unity because these guys are definitely a close unit.
Tyler Boyd went to Pitt. Joe Mixon went to Oklahoma. We know T. Higgins went to Clemson, played with Deshaun Watson, played in a lot of big games, played with Trevor Lawrence. And then obviously Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase went to LSU. So, yeah, you're right. These are guys who are used to winning. And when we first got here, the Bengals weren't a bad team in 87, my rookie year. That was a strike year. We didn't have the best record. But they already had Boomer Esiason. They already had James Brooks. They already had Eddie Brown and Tim McGee and David Folger and Joe Kelly. Man, they had some dudes who could play. So when we got here, we looked at it and said, hey, man, these dudes just need that young energy that we kind of brought to the table. And because we expected to win, and they needed that young, youthful energy to win. And I kind of see that with this team right now. I see young guys, but they don't know no better. They could care less about what the Pittsburgh Steelers had already done to the Bengals. These guys showed up with a whole new attitude, and I'm loving that about them, Nick.
I do too, because they showed up with that you got to show me mentality. I'm not going on what happened in the past, what you guys done in the past. You got to show me you kick me in the mouth right now. You know what I'm saying? And when they got out there, they showed Pittsburgh a whole new side, a whole new Bengal team. And, you know, I was telling a few of the Pittsburgh guys who I was hanging out with, they were like, oh, man, okay, you guys jumped out to a lead. But we're going to see what happened in the fourth quarter. Y'all give it back to us. I said, listen here, bro. This is an entirely different team than them teams of the past that you guys come down here and bully, man. It's not going to happen. And so as the game went on, you know, as we kept scoring, I kept getting a little louder and a little louder. And I said, by the fourth quarter, I said, man, are you ready to concede this win? By that time, it was 41-3. I said, this win is over, bro. Y'all, you might as well concede. He was like, well, yeah, I got to concede it now. I said, you should have conceded when they first kicked the ball off because these guys were ready to play, and that was a great measuring stick to see if they could beat the Steelers. Because I keep telling everybody, the only way we're going to win the division is we got to be able to beat the Steelers twice.
That's right. That's right. That's it. And you know the road for this division, it goes through Pittsburgh. That's how much respect that even today we have for Pittsburgh Steelers and the people of Cincinnati. This is not meant to be anything disrespectful. It's just there comes a time where you got to pass that torch. It's just plain simple as that. And this is that time. And I remember when you joined us in '88, we already had James Brooks. Stanley Wilson came, and you know Stanley was a man. He was going to bring it. James Brooks was a dude, but you were that dude that took us over the top. And I see the same with Joe Mixon today. So kind of take us down memory lane and help us to understand, because you came in as a rookie, you led the league in rushing touchdowns, you had over 1,000 yards rushing. Man, you gave us something we didn't have. And when we loaded up to run the ball behind Anthony Munoz, Max Montoya, and Joe Walter, we could roll grade with the best of them. So take us down memory lane. Let us know about what that run game was like then and how it's very similar to the outside zone stuff that you see Joe Mixon running right now today with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, well, you know, we, like you said, we had those big hogs up front, man, and we had me who would run downhill. You had James who would hit it up inside and bounce it outside. So, and you know, that year that we went to the Super Bowl, man, the run game is what got us there.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
Because we led the league in rushing that year. We were a run first team, and then we would pass the ball. And it seems like the Bengals are getting back to that now.
That's right.
Because, you know, Joe Mixon, I know he had to carry the ball about 20 times.
28.
And then P-Ron kind of reminds me of JB. He's not as small as JB, but he that little scat back that can get in there and get those tough third down yardage that you need, man. Mm-hmm. It's very similar. The only thing that they don't have that big tight end like Rodney Holman that we had. do that middle thing. But
That's right.
you know, Uzama's pretty nice, and
Yep.
I like to see that the young kid Moss's son get in there and maybe get a little playing time.
Zach
But
Moss.
man,
That's right.
I'm excited, Solomon. I'm excited. I ain't been this excited in a long time about a Bengals team, man. But I'm very excited.
See, I'm excited because Frank Pollock came back as the offensive line coach, and he clearly gave us a whole different mentality because he married the offensive line to Joe Mixon, and everything goes through Joe Mixon. I don't care what anybody tell you, Joe Mixon is the offense. And you think he got 10 touchdowns now. You had what, 18 your rookie year when you had us going that year. So he got about 6 more games left, man. I think 6 or 7 more games. I think he might get close to you. He might get there.
Yeah,
because,
no doubt. And I hope he do, because you know
that's right.
Good thing about it, man, they keep winning, man. It just makes the city live, man. And I like to see that happen again, man. Just have the city on fire and everybody's live and everybody's loving the Bengals, man. It'd be a great thing to get back there, man, because we hadn't had a playoff win since we played. Solid, you know, it's been a long time. They made the playoffs, but they hadn't had a playoff win. You know,
you and
I'm looking forward to that.
You and I were on the field that very day, 1990. It was actually January of 91, so we had just crossed over into a new year. But it was the 90 season, January of 91, and we housed the Houston Oilers when they came up in here. I remember and that was a great Houston Oilers team. You know, they had Warren Moon, they had Ernest Gibbons, they had great running backs. They had a Hall of Fame offensive line with Mike Munchak and Bruce Matthews. But bro, we put it on them that day because that's what kind of team we was. And I tell people all the time, Wade, we were a physical team now. Our defense was physical, our offense was physical. And then we went out and played Bo Jackson and the Raiders.
Yeah.
And Bo did what Bo do.
They say Bo knows.
Bo got us. But that was the last game Bo played in because he was hurt. He got hurt in that game against us.
Yeah. But if they had instant replay, we got that fumble Bo put on the ground too, man. Remember Bo laid it on the ground.
Yeah, he did.
They gave it back to him, man. Replay in. We'd probably been in that thing.
We would have won that. We would have won that game, and they went up. I think they went out the next week and lost to Buffalo and put Buffalo in the Super Bowl. We had already beaten the Bills in the AFC Championship game, so I would have loved to have a rematch and play them again because we had beaten them in '88 to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game. But the Bills are a great team. Those Steelers back then with Rod Woodson, my good friend Greg Lloyd, Carnell Lake. Remember, I ended up playing with those guys in '92 when Bill Cowher's first year. I became teammates. So I have a lot of respect for those guys, just like I have respect for this Steelers team. Big Ben Roethlisberger, TJ Watt, Casey Hayward, Joe Hayden. You remember, Tyler Boyd is a Pittsburgh guy. Tyler Boyd, he brought his Pittsburgh mentality to this Bengals team, and I appreciate him for that. He said it after the first win that they tapped out. Now, Pittsburgh was supposed to do something about it in this second game. Bengals ended up winning 41-10. I think they tried their best, but when they went to go dig deep, there was nothing. There was nothing there.
Nothing in the tank, and the Bengals kept the pressure on them. And the thing about the Bengals defense that kind of favors our defense is there was no big star. You had guys who made plays, Fo Rock,
Eric Thomas,
Kelly, Tim Crumrye. You had guys that made plays, but there was no real standout because we all played as a team.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And the defense was getting turnovers, busting people in the mouth, getting them out of there on third down. Just like this team is doing now.
That's right.
Teams in the past, third down come, 3rd and 5. They giving them 3rd and 5. This team now, it's hard to get a 3rd and 2 on them. They're getting them out of there.
Hey, man,
them on 3rd down.
That Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, whole new ball game. That's a game changer. Whole new ball game. They became what the Pittsburgh Steelers would normally do with their edge
Right.
rushers, with TJ Watt and some of the guys. Now that's the Cincinnati Bengals putting that kind of pressure on the opposing quarterback. And I really appreciate what I'm getting from these guys, man. I love the fact that they are hard hitters. They bring it, and they have an expectation to win. Here's how you know you're dealing with house money with the Bengals. I'm watching them second half, bro. They came out. They were getting their groove out. Joe Mixon, they were getting their groove out. They remind me of a young Icky Woods getting his groove out.
They were showing that swag, boy. I loved it, boy. I loved it. And then he got the big lineman involved too.
Oh, bro, that thing was sweet. That thing was sweet. I want to see that again.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see
man,
that one again.
I love that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that takes me back to the day that the Icky Shuffle was born. I want you to tell our listeners before we let you go. I want you to tell our listeners how the Icky Shuffle was born, when it was born, and when it was debuted.
Well, it started when we were playing a game against the Cleveland Browns. I think it was our 5th game of the year, and I flew my mom in for the game. And me and my 2 oldest kids at the time were 2 and 5. And I just started playing some music, Sally, and I got up and started acting silly. And I was like, Mom, if I score tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. She was like, boy, you better not do that. I said, I got to, Mom, I got to. So it just started, Sally, where I kind of just jumped. I just kind of jumped up in the air. And I just kind of jumped and went side to side like that.
Yeah.
On the first time, and then when we came into the locker room, Ricky Dixon, who was our first round choice that year, he was like, Woods, what was that? I said, Rick, that was my celebration dance. He was like, man, that ish was whack, man. That was whack. I was like, oh, Rick, what do you mean it was whack?
He was like, nah.
It was whack. I said, oh, Rick, I said, so what you think I ought to do, Rick? You think I ought to put some steps to it? He was like, yeah, Ick, man, put some steps to it. So the whole week, Sally, I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do? I couldn't come up with nothing. And then just before it was time to go out, the shit just hit me. I think you, Rick, and E.T. was right there. And I said, check this out, boy. This is what I'm going to do today when I score. I said, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to hop back 3 times and spike the ball. And Rick was like, oh, hell yeah, that's going to be cool. Right. And you and E.T. were like, don't you do that shit. Don't you do that.
I sound like your mom. I like, boy.
And, you know, it just took off, Solly. You know, and I tell everybody, man, you know, I was just happened to be in the right place at the right time. We were winning ball games, and we made it to the Super Bowl that year. So I was blessed enough to be in the right place at the right time.
Hey, I knew you had something going because the very next week we were getting ready for a game. I think we were getting ready for the, I don't know who it was, the Jets or somebody. And then Paul Brown came into the locker room.
Right.
And when the old man came in, everybody got serious, right? Because he had that presence. Right. He was a legend. He was a legend. So Paul Brown came in, and so Paul walks over to you. He said, what did he say to you? I'll let you tell it. What did he say to you?
He said, Icky, he said, personally, I don't care too much for that little dance you do. He said, but my wife loves it. You can do it anytime you get ready.
Oh, that's when we said, oh, you are all. Because, you know, he didn't play for none of that. He used to say, act like you've been there before. Just give the ball to the ref. He would tell us this every year in training camp. And now you come along. You were like his favorite child. You can keep doing that. Right. I was like, oh my goodness. He done won the old man over with that day.
Right.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, man, we had a great time, brother. I tell you. But
Well,
I'm looking at these guys, man. I'm having so much fun, and I go to a few ways. I went to the Raiders game, and bro, just to go down there and be able to walk through that stadium yelling "Hootie" and have my big feet on. Oh, probably I just had such a wonderful time down there. Just traveling with the guys and having fun.
Hey, when I first got here, Kenny Anderson had just retired. He was a great quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, a former league MVP. Boomer Esiason, we played with him. Phenomenal leader, a former league MVP, great quarterback in his own right. I watched Carson Palmer came through, who I thought he was the most talented of any of the quarterbacks that ever played here. Just a pure slinger of that rock.
No doubt.
Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's the most complete package that they've ever had at the position.
Right.
He's just
ever had.
Ever had. I mean, when it's all you put it all together, all the good stuff that Boomer had, all the good stuff that Kenny Anderson had, right? All the good stuff that Carson had. This guy's got all of that, and he's from right here in the great state of Ohio. He's from the Buckeye State. This dude, he's about to do some great things. I don't even want to jinx it because there ain't no jinxing it. He just is who he is. I think he's gonna be. I think when it's all said and done, he's gonna have done some great things here for this organization and for this city.
No doubt. I concur with that, man, because he's just a real humble kid. Like you said, he's here from Ohio, man. Just great to see the young kid come in here, man, and just take control. Let everybody know, hey, I'm in control, guys. Believe in me, and
follow me.
Get this thing done. Yeah, follow me. Believe in me, and we can get it done. And that's the mentality he's got. And I'm so glad that everybody's buying into it. The whole organization is buying into it, man. It's been a rough couple of first years, but that was the building period. Now they're reaping the rewards of all the work that they put in those years that they didn't play as well.
I got to get my man Chad Ochocinco on the show, because when Chad was here, I covered the team and I said stuff about Chad. I told Chad, like, yo, man, you a distraction, bro. Hell of a player. But just keep tone that down and go win some games, man. You cannot put the show before the game. The game come before the show. And you know what? That's what I like about this team. This team, no drama. Nobody is they're not trying to put their brand before winning games or before the team. Every single guy, they're young dudes too. They get it. They get it, man. They get it. They walk softly, but they carry a big stick. I just wanted to say that. I like that about this group. I like that about you, except for that damn Icky Shuffle, because everywhere we go, you doing that and we getting stuff. I don't get nothing for free. You get stuff for free. You get stuff for free.
Like I said, every time I see you, boy, quit hating, boy.
I gotta tell him. You and I, we going to go play golf somewhere way up north of state Ohio. He's speeding. The cops pull him over. I keep going. I ain't part of that. If we stop at the place to get something to eat, 5 minutes later, here you come. Never got a ticket because he the Icky Shuffle man. They like, oh, you Icky Woods. You can go ahead. Don't worry about it. Still living off that damn shuffle. You still living off that damn shuffle. Hey, man, thank you for joining me today. You're the best, my man. Appreciate you.
I had a great time, Solly. Appreciate you having me on, brother.
All right. For Icky Woods, I'm Solomon Wilcots. This is another episode of the Believe in Bingo podcast brought to you by Bet Online. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again next week.